Nagaland News Network ajiyade town hall de ahigana ase Dimapur kunto International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women idulaga launching laga program te aro idu do aji 25 November wa shuru kurigana 10 December tak 16 days laga tahan idu luigana chawole se aro aji laga team to saishukle mohan unite to end digital violence against all women and girls idu laga opore luigana tahan idu 16 days laga lui jawole se aro aji laga mohan saishukle Tino Jungshi Jang mohanla DC taibi ahigana present thakalaga mohan dikhibo paise itu ekla nohoy alak tribal union laga leaders women tribal union la leaders can be present hoigana thakalaga mohan dikhibo paise itu lodi luigana students can be alak colleges pa bi ahigana thakalaga aro bishi alak dignitaries kan student leaders kan lui ahigana present thakalaga mohan janibo paise aro aji laga team speaker do gushugule Vrinda advocate Supreme Court tai itu aji laga team na opor de luigana ginaga mohanla society noiles mohanla country de crime against digital crime against noile digital violence against women and girls itu kana opor de luina tai kutha kurlese itu 16 days laga kunto International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women do kushugule itu do Nagaland State Commission for Women kamba organized kushi in collaboration with District Administration aro Dimapur and District Hub for Empowerment of Women aro Mission Shakti Dimapur dahan sob miligana collaborate kuigana itu organize korala thaise ajila program de mohan saigana jaishegule kineka Ajikali with the advancement of technology crime rate can be bishi uthiase edu khan sopla opor di luigna aro ajikali deep fake khan ki lui bishi ulaigna jalaga aro viral can be hoigna aro kineka intimate pictures na lui edu nude pictures kan kineka without the consent kan kineka circulate kineka viral hoigna jaise edu kan kineka tackle go lage na lui maiki kan bi kineka guigna tahan nijor nimete waisa go lage edu kan sobla opor di luigna pishi power details wa gutha kurigna chawle se to edula opor di luigna details wa ahibi moham program de sailo
First of all, I want to give a warm greetings from Nagaland State Commission for Women. And at the outset, I want to thank our Almighty God for bringing us all together in this very manner to the launching program of International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women and the Girl. Aji yedi kimanchun ahigina ase sob mixer ase yede. Maiki ekla nohoy, mota ekla nohoy, maiki bi ase, mota bi ase. Ede aro, bishi importantly though, students can be ase, bishi kushi pai ase. And what is this gender-based violence? Achi laga mahala program 16 days of activism against gender-based violence ki ase ito moi background olop didibo. The 16 days of activism against gender-based violence is an annual international civil society-led campaign. It commences on 25th of November, that is today, the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. And it ends on 10th December. That falls on Human Rights Day, highlighting the violence against women, which is the most pervasive breach of human rights worldwide. The campaign, it was launched by the activities at the inaugural Women's Global Leadership Institute in 1991 and has since mobilize individuals and organizations, including the United Nations and partners worldwide, to advocate for the prevention and eliminations of violence against women and girls. And in support of this civil society initiative under the leadership of the United Nations Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, the United Nations Secretary General Unite by 2030 to End Violence Against Women initiatives calls for global action to increase awareness, galvanize advocacy efforts, and share knowledge and innovations to end violence against women and girls once and for all. And it was launched in 2008. Unite is a multi-year advocacy effort which aimed at preventing and eliminating violence against women and girls around the world. Unite calls on governments, developments, civil societies, women's rights organizations, young people, young minds, the private and the government sector, the media, and the entire system to collaborate in addressing violence against women and the girls. And the United Nations has supported the campaign through the Unite to End Violence Against Women initiative since 2008, using the color orange as a symbol of a future free from violence. Each year, the campaign focuses on a specific theme, and this year's theme for the 16 Days of Activism 2025, which we are launching today, is Unite to End Digital Violence Against All Women and Girls. This global campaign, running from November 25 to December 10, focuses on combating online harassment and other forms of violence that occur in digital spaces and in digital forms. Violence against women and girls affects 1 in 3 women, and it is a global human rights emergency that must stop. As the world marks the 30th anniversary of the Beijing Declarations and Platform for Action, one of the most progressive international agreements on women's rights to date, the United Nations Secretary General Unite 2025 campaign focuses on one of the fastest growing forms of abuse, that is digital violence against women and the girls. And this year's campaign reminds that digital safety is central to gender equality. Online and digital space should empower women and girls, yet every day, for millions of women and girls, the digital world has become a minefield of harassment, abuse, and control over women and the girl. And I also want to give a little brief on what is this digital abuse. Digital tools are increasingly being used to stop, harass, and abuse women and the young girls, which includes image-based abuse, non-consensual sharing of intimate pictures, images, often called as revenge porn or leaked nudes, and cyberbullying, trolling, and online threats, online harassment, and online sexual harassment. And most importantly, these days we have these AI-generated deepfakes, such as sexually explicit image, deepfake pornography, and digitally manipulated images, videos, or audio are being circulated. Hate speech and disinformation on social platforms, social media platforms, etc. These acts don't just happen online, but they often lead to offline violence in real life, such as coercion, physical abuse, and even femicide, killing of women and the young girls. The harm can be long-lasting and affect survivors over a prolonged period of time. In today's time, this digital violence targets women and young girls more than men across all walks of life. The impact is even worse for women facing intersecting forms of discrimination, including races, disability, gender identity, or sexual orientation. This year theme, Unite to End Digital Violence Against Women and Girls, focuses on combating online harassment and other forms of violence that occurs in digital space. And the campaign is part of the broader Unite to End Violence Against Women campaign and calls for all the stakeholders of the states, individuals to take action. The 16 days of campaign is focused today to draw attention to the escalating problem of digital violence against women and girls, which includes online harassment, cyberstalking, and image-based sexual abuse. And this campaign aims to mobilize, support the violence through a multi-stakeholder approach.
Good morning to you all once again. And also I'd like to first of all thank the Nagaland State Women Commission of Women for organizing this kind of programs in Dimapur district. We all know Dimapur, I always call Dimapur is a mini Nagaland, where every tribes from different districts live in harmony. So I think if those who are present here today, if we understand the main objective of this program, definitely it will spread to other districts also and will be able to achieve the goals. It is an honor and privilege to stand before you on this important occasion, the International Day for Elimination of Violence Against Women, which is observed every year on 25th November. Today is not just a date of the calendar, it is a reminder of global crisis, a call to concise and a commitment to action. Violence against women is not only a violation of human rights, but also a deep wound in the soul of a society. It happens in home, workplaces, in public spaces, and increasingly these days online. For many women, the fear of violence shapes their daily choices, from where they work, to how they dress, to what they say. This reality should disturb us because every woman deserves to live with dignity, freedom, and respect. Today we remember the countless women who have suffered in silence, those who are survivors, and those who tragically lost their lives. We honor their courage and we acknowledge that breaking the silence is the first step towards changes. This year, as we enter 2025, let us look at the world with renewed determinations. Laws have improved, awareness has grown, and many communities are standing up, but the work is far from over. Statistics continue to show that 1 in 3 women worldwide experiences physical or sexual violence in her lifetime. Behind every number is a mother, a sister, a daughter, a friend, someone with a dream, hope, and a right to safety. Ending violence against women is not the responsibilities of women alone. It is everyone's responsibilities, men, women, youth, institutions, governments, and communities. We must all together bring a change to these harmful attitudes, challenge discriminations, and create awareness to understand that strength lies in respect, not dominations. Let us pledge today to create safe home, safe workplace, and a safe public space. Let us encourage survivors to speak up, and let us build a system that listens to them, protect them, and also support them. When a survivor gathers the courage to speak, the least we can do is believe her and stand beside her. Education has a powerful role. Awareness camping, counseling, community dialogues, and school programs can reshape the mindset of generations. Empowerment has an even stronger role when women are educated, economically independent, and confident. They have the strength to walk away from abuses and build a life of dignity. On this International Day, I urge every one of us present here today to take action in our own capacity. Report violence when you see it. Support a survivor. Speak against harmful behaviors. Teach respect. Promote equality. Small actions, when multiplied across a community, become powerful movement. Before I conclude, let me remind all of us that a society can only progress when its women are safe, valued, and empowered. Violence against women is not a women issue alone. It is a human issue, a moral issue, and a societal issue. And together we have this power to win it. Let us stand united, raise our voices, and commit to build a future where every woman lives free from fear and full of hope. Thank you, and may we all strive to be a part of this solution. Thank you once again.
We have heard about why this issue is of concern, what is the significance, and why all of us have gathered here today. So I will take forward some of the thoughts that have already been expressed from the invocation onwards, in the inaugural address by the Chairperson, Nagaland State Women's Commission, as well as by the Deputy Commissioner. I'm particularly happy to see that there are a lot of young people, young girls, and I do hope that there is a time in our country when we don't have to have the 16 days of activism. Instead, it would be 16 days of celebration, where we have a society which you young people will change. And it's really all of us who make up this society. It's not somebody coming from the outside and causing these problems. So it is us, and therefore we are part of the change as much as we are part of the problem. So I'm a lawyer, as was said earlier, so in my talk I will try and deal a little bit. I'm not going to make it an extremely legalese, but I will try and talk a little bit about some of the... This has been said now already by the two dignitaries who have addressed you. This is a global problem, but it's also a problem that pervades not just in Dimapur but across the country. And this is what we need to change. We need to eliminate this through reminding us in these 16 days as to where the problem lies. When you look at this map, it is unfortunate. This is the grading we have here. This is the worst, red. We are in orange. We need to change that color. We need to change that color through our behavior, our conduct, our actions, and go up so that we are in parity with countries that are more progressive. Because the real indicator, this is my personal view, the real indicator of a developed country, a country that has progressed, is not the GDP. GDP is figures, data, statistics. The real indicator is that regardless of who you are, what is your gender, what is your sexual orientation, what is your ethnicity, what is your caste, you are an equal, and you live a life in which we enjoy the freedoms that we have in the Indian Constitution. And that is what we are all trying to reach. I will just very briefly, before I go on further, Chairperson, is English fine, or do I need to mix a little bit of Hindi? A little bit. आप लोगों को याद होगा कि 2012 दिसंबर में there was a terrible gang rape in Delhi. आप लोगों को याद है ऐसा कुछ हुआ था दिल्ली में? Come on, I'm used to be a responsive audience. So there was a lot of learning as a society we did from that, right? It was not just about getting angry and punishing some men who did get the punishment. It was about what did we learn as a society और हमने क्या बदला, अपनी सोच में क्या बदला, अपने अंदर क्या बदला. At that time, the government had set up what is called the Justice Verma Committee. Why am I pointing your attention to this? We have spoken about violence against women since morning. There was a sentence that the Deputy Commissioner said to us. He spoke about inequality. ये violence कहाँ से आता है? Violence is almost always inflicted by the powerful on a person or a creature, including animals, on someone who has less power than the person inflicting the violence. So the root of violence is not that there is a man with a bad temper, there is a husband who gets angry. That is what you see, वो दिखता है, वो उसका end result होता है. The root lies in, I'm not going to be reading these things out because that would make it terribly long. This is the root cause of violence, inequality and discrimination. हमको जड़ से क्या निकालना है अपने बीच में से, समाज में से? Inequality और discrimination. वो निकलेगा तो वायलेंस अपने आप कम होता जाएगा. तो जो फोकस है वो दोनों तरफ साइमल्टेनियसली रहना पड़ेगा in all programs, policies, initiatives, actions that we undertake. So this again is talking about similar, what are the links between social injustice and gender injustice. What is of course important, and I think we need to remember how the chairperson expressed that to us, that gender injustice crosses all barriers of class, caste, ethnicity, religion, and is unfortunately pervasive in society. It doesn't matter where आप कौन से परिवार से, कौन से समुदाय से हो. After the 2012 Nirbhaya gang rape, the law was changed. There were many amendments made to the law. Today I'm only going to talk to you, and I'm only referring here in this slide to those aspects of the law where you can already see the beginning of tracing digital gender-based violence. The law talked about sexual harassment. The law talked about voyeurism, trafficking, and stalking. All these have a digital component. ये इंटरनेट पे भी हो सकता है. Physical presence इसमें से किसी भी की ज़रूरत नहीं है. This crime can be perpetrated both on the internet as well as in person. And we see the early beginnings of recognition of this in the 2013 amendment that were brought about after this. What do we have today? Now what is, at one level we are all, as a society we have gained so much from the advancement of science and technology. We all have mobile phones, we are connected to people far away. We can on the internet know what is happening on any part of the planet, and therefore our access to information, our access to new discoveries, to new ideas, to what is happening in any other country or what is happening in Delhi. As a lawyer, I can tell you, yesterday I was able to attend, I had a matter in the Uttarakhand High Court also. Now I was in Kohima yesterday. I joined online and I attended a matter in Uttarakhand High Court. This is what technology and use of technology by courts in particular has today enabled. आप कहीं पर भी हैं, पर आप कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं, आप अपना काम कर सकते हैं, आप सुन सकते हैं, समझ सकते हैं. ये आविष्कार जो साइंस का है, विज्ञान का है, ये बहुत बड़ी बात है. But if we don't change as a society, then everything has a double edge. और वही टेक्नोलॉजी वायलेंस का भी एक जरिया बन जाता है. What we see as the way boys grow up and the way girls grow up in our society, उसको बदलना होगा. As I said, being attracted at a young age to another person, wanting to explore sexuality, there is no harm, provided it is not done before 18, and secondly not done without consent. Amongst boys, as we all do know, the conversation at a young age is about sex, but unfortunately it is about viewing आपके साथ पढ़ रही क्लासमेट, आपके साथ काम कर रही या की बॉडी के बारे में हम अजीब तरीके से बात करते हैं. ये बॉयज लॉकर रूम, which was a group of boys studying in some of the best public schools in Delhi, there was a conversation happening about girls they knew, girls जो उनकी friends हैं. और इस private conversation में one of them shared nude images of his girlfriend with all the other people on that group, and it got leaked out, and then the police got involved, and it led to a police action, then the parents got involved, etc., etc. At the heart of it is the need कि स्कूल में, कॉलेज में, घर में इन चीज़ों के बारे में बात करके सही और गलत, क्या क्राइम है क्या नहीं है, because you don't, it's not productive for a society to catch 17 and 16-year-old boys and say put them away. That's not the point. That's not how violence against women will end. The third thing I want to refer to very quickly is we deal with domestic violence cases. We say, okay, go to the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act, एक protection officer है, वो complaint लेगा, magistrate पे जाओ, police पे जाओ. Recently in a case, what did we see? There was a dispute between the husband and wife. It led to some physical violence, lot of mental violence. उन दोनों के बीच में वो अलग-अलग हो गए. Husband ने wife को online डिजिटल स्पेस में हरास करना, उसके वीडियोस पॉर्न साइट्स पे पोस्ट करना, इस तरह से उसने करना शुरू कर दिया. तो जो डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस का हमारा अंडरस्टैंडिंग था कि लॉ उसको कैसे डील करेगा.
Viewers, apne han program dibi details ba hunyo paigana hanishna ajilaga team speaker ba bishi power details ba edukan kinaka goina digital crime against women aro girls kinaka hoyese edukan sopla opor di luigana no lui cyberbullying ba luigana trafficking no lui ki laga sopla opor di luina power explain kuina ahalaga mohan hunyo ba she aro dai ekta point kan bi bishi dai statistics kan digana bishi practical examples kan bi digana dai edu power aji laga theme la opor di lui gina ta explain khuna ahala mon huniu paise idulo di lui na aji tai idubi janai di sheki 73% of the women journalists can be in a digital bullying no lui harassment no sexual harassment digitally online kan de bishi face wa laga 73% of the women journalists can be in a face wa se kuina aro 14 to 16 years of age can be bishi in a online bullying online sexual harassment in a kan bishi face wa se kuina tai itubi kuise aro globally sai shugle do 300 million children pachakhan in kalaga face kure se kuina tai itubi highlight kurigna kwalaga mahan itu hunyo paise itu lodi luina tai itubi janai di ki non consensual intimate imagery can be pishi highest ase goina ajigali circulate kura laga aro idula opor di luigna police can be idula opor di case Julie thaka laga idu bishi highest ase mohala country de sai shugule idu khan koya labi mohan hunio paise aro tai guise ki idu khan swap crime against women digitally de enaka khan commit kuri shugule mohan kidia bado police station di jaigana mohan la fir khan bi complaints khan likhule bi kidia bado mohan phoi lage no lebi kumba do sorom bi lagi na tahan ulao na pari na nijor gi voice out go na pari na tahan na jaigana enaka hi tahan khorde nijor ge ekla rakhi gana no lebi enaka khan ba it also leads to suicide no lebi enaka self harm depression anxiety khan di pishi khusi jai to tai alternative alak rasta bi dekhai gana tai janai di ki online reporting bi kuruwa pare koina example apni khan laga against the enaka manu khan ba crime do commit kuri di shugule apni khan police station di do na jai gana bi apni khan national cyber crime reporting portal koi gana kunto ase tadi khan diwa bi apni khan report khan likho paruwa koina itu bi janai dia laga man honi paise aro ekta bishi important kota do gushugule tai practical example loigena janai di ki bishi bak maiki khan inaka ai dahan lo de approach kure holiwi evidence to nai inaka goi kuise to holiwi dahan ki kuise ki idu social media phones kan di already deleted thagilebi evidence to apni ase goina edu karne phoina lagi gena apni khan voice out gurui aro itu khan sopla opodi lui gena chupchap na poiwi koina tai itu encourage krala ma hunio paise to khan sopla opodi lui gena tai ekta bishi tangor kutha kwala bi man hunio paise tai janai di ki itu khan for example maiki khan laga private pictures kan inaka viral guri dishe gule noilebi inaka gi digital sexual abuse kan hoi jai she gulebi idudo kitebi magi khan ge blame na korole ne mete aro idudo muta khan ge he tai khan la kalde se koina kole nimete society bi change ko like wo guna tai edu kwala bi man hunyo paise aro dai janai dishe ki idu inaka khan crime kra do kuishe gule aro maigi khan kun khan public khan nimete speak out voice out kurle mun jaise ta khan ki death threats khan nelu frightening threats khan de etu khan ke enaka rukhaule phal kam kurle rukhaule try kore etu khan na opor di lui gana bi complaint khan bi lodge ko pare koina aro etu khan do crime against not that individual women or that individual person holu etu to crime against the country ase koina tai etu bi mention kun kwa laka man hunyo paise to kwa nishna ajilaga tin de maigi khan bishi face kurina ai holiwi tahan speak out na kore holiwi ajilaga program saigana noilwi throughout these 16 days auto khan dibi poster khan paste kuri gana noilwi khorde domestic violence khan face kurli report kurlela toll free number khan bi ti gana thaka laga edam posters khan ge saigana kun bi chupchap na poigana voice out kuri gana nichor nimete stand kurle nimete tu ekta encourage kuri dese ajini mede manese. This is Jimishi with camera person Timjin for Nagaland News Network.